Hey, what's up, my YouTubers? Do I look like somebody from Detroit? Got their hat on backwards? What about if I switch it sideways? Do I look, I don't know what they call it. Nah, it's stupid. Go back to the way it's supposed to be. Bill's supposed to cover your eyes. Keep the rain off. Keep the shade. Keep the sun off your eyes. Anyways, listen, my Skype is up. I'm on for the next few hours. Anybody who wants to jabber with me can just go on to Skype. My number or my name is Short47, all one word, SHORT 47. I'll be glad to talk with you, chat with you. Why not? That's what it's for. And it's free. 100% FREE. But one thing I want to bring across tonight, this is Wednesday night. Now I have had my day. I'm telling you, I've had a day at the VA like you wouldn't believe. I left at 7 p.m. I ended up getting home. I left at 7 a.m. I ended up getting home at 7 p.m. because of they're putting me through the mill. But I want to show you this. Okay, I don't want to do this. Okay, now this is where they went in for the heart cath. And this is the bruise that occurred from the heart cath. Okay? These cameras really suck. You try to do one direction, shows the other. But anyways, that's not bragging rights. That's just showing you what reality is. All right? If you've never had to go through it, I pray you never have to go through it. But if you do have to go through it, don't worry about it. They give you some drugs that, man, I'm telling you, you don't give a care. I enjoyed that. And I've been through 3 heart caths. And I tell you what, they have some medicine that just kind of knocks you half out of it. And you could care less. They could cut your leg off and you'd laugh at them and say, hey, how about the other one? But then they give you a medicine that's very unique. It erases your memory. You don't realize what you went through when you get done. The first time I had my my stent done, okay, they went through my groin area, which they went through the artery in the groin area, okay, in the leg, next to the groin. Let's put it that way. And when I woke up, there's this blonde woman pressing on my leg real hard right there in the joint of the groin and holding pressure because they got to get the blood to stop in the artery. And I woke up and here's this blonde lady pushing on my groin. And the first thing out of my mouth without thinking was, is this how you usually meet men? She looked at me. She looked at me and laughed. And I'm sure she's heard that before. And I said, well, you're doing a very good job. So, what can you say? A man's a man, a woman's a woman. It's the way God created us. But anyhow, what I wanted to bring across tonight is level-headedness. All right? Forget that paranoid crap. Be level-headed. You cannot stop what's coming. I don't care who you are, if you're the king of whoever, whatever, or whatever you think you're the king or queen of, you cannot stop what's coming. So instead of trying to stop what's coming or trying to push it off like it's not happening, or the denial mode, you need to prepare for what's coming. Okay? Now tell that to your family. Say, listen, especially to the stubborn uncle or the stubborn aunt. Say, you know what? You can't stop what's coming, but you can prepare for what's coming. And if you prepare for what's coming, then you'll be able to survive what's coming. But you cannot stop what's coming. You see, Revelation, the book of Revelation was written not just as a fairy tale. It's reality. And I've told you before, I'm a man of war. All right? God placed me in that position. Anything I've done justly. I've done because I was ordered to, or done as I was commanded to do. And I've told you before, I guarantee you 99.9% of people on this internet or on this YouTube who talks about survival and hunting and talks about, even the military people who talk about their bug out bags and the bug in bags. I've got something over them that they don't have. And it's not to brag about, but I know what it is to take a life. Matter of fact, I know what it is to take 25 lives. Okay? And I didn't take them out of anger, or take them out of jealousy, or take them out of any of that. Trust me, every one that I've taken, and I've told you this before in videos past, when you take somebody's life, you'll heave your guts out. Because life is very precious, and that's what's given by God. But you know what? In the Bible, God commanded his children to take out all the ites. I call them ites. The Hivites, the Shiites, all the ites. God commanded Moses to remove all the ites. All the people who had ites at the end of their community. And you know what? It was not a good time. And what's coming in our end day? Not a good time. I don't know why. You know what? Why do people party when there's a hurricane? That fascinated me. When I was stationed in Pensacola, Florida, we had a couple major hurricanes come through. And my family was hunkered down with a fellow buddy of mine and their family and their home, because they had a brick home. But yet I heard of so many parties going on. People having hurricane parties. And I'm thinking, good God Almighty. Well, that's the way people's going to be in the end days, according to Noah. As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the end days. They were eating and drinking and giving in marriage. They were party hardy and hard, dude. Well, if you're wise, or if you're smart, okay, you're going to prepare. And you're going to handle it and deal with it. But don't get paranoid. All right? Paranoia. I remember that song. This might be too old for some of you, but it's Paranoia Brain Destroyer. For those of you who are in my age group, you know what song I'm talking about. Because you know what? Paranoia can be your worst enemy. Don't let paranoia get to you. You know what? You live your life. You enjoy every stinking day you have. When that sun comes up, or when you wake up in the morning, you take that day and you live it to the fullest, and you prepare for what's coming. And then when you wake up the next day, you do the exact same thing. You don't bury yourself away. You don't turn yourself into a monk. All right? You take on the world like you own it. But you prepare. You see, now, to be honest with you, I pack a gun every day. I have my permit to carry a concealed weapon. But even if I didn't have that, I would walk in faith. And I'd walk in anywhere, believing that I don't just have to take care of myself. I serve someone who's greater, who's able to take care of me. All right? Because, see, I don't have to have a gun to protect myself. I already showed you how to adapt. And you see, that's one thing the military really taught me, and especially Black Ops. You adapt with with your surroundings. If you don't have a weapon, anything can become a weapon. Do you know that with this thumb, I can take a life with this thumb? With this finger alone, I can take a life with this finger. Now, I'm not going to tell you how, but I'm going to let you know that you don't have to have weapons to take a life. But there are ways, and it's not for fun. You never, ever take a life unless your life is on the line. Okay, that's the only reasoning God understands, because he created their lives also. Okay, but anyways, back to the paranoia. Man, there's so much stuff on this on YouTube. If I was to listen to every ounce of it, I'd be afraid to walk out the door. I'd be afraid to open a window for fear of somebody looking at me. Well, that's bull crap. You are overcomers. You are made overcomers by the word of the Lamb and the word of your testimony. You know what? Don't let the enemy cause you to hide. No. You rule. You control. You take charge of. If I can see a 78-year-old lady take her cane and beat a robber who tried to rob her of her purse, then I should be able to take my shoe off and beat the snot out of somebody trying to rob me. We had a 78-year-old lady walk out of Walmart, and a guy tried to snatch her purse, and she took her cane and beat the crap out of him. I laughed so hard I cried and coughed and cried and coughed, and I was just overwhelmed. Why should you walk paranoid and worried? You shouldn't. Don't be paranoid these last days, and don't let nobody on here paranoia. You know what? That's why I tell you in the past videos, put your own pants on. Put your own shoes on. Stop pulling on your mama's apron strings. And of course the other I said. But I'll leave it at that. No. Don't get paranoid. Walk boldly. The disciples walked boldly. You need to walk boldly. And I told you before, don't worry about what they can do to this body. You worry about the one who can separate soul and spirit. When you're more worried about God than anybody else, let me tell you, God protects you. And God will keep you. All right? Okay. Just want to talk to you about paranoia. No paranoia. All right? All these people pushing numbers trying to paranoia when all their stuff's not coming true. Just be smart. Have what you need at the ready. And then love your kids. Have fun with them. Live your life. Serve God to the best of your ability. And I tell you, when trouble hits, you'll take care of it. And then you'll go back to loving your kids. And you'll go back to loving your life. Because you know something? if you're not paranoid, there's no way the enemy can get to you. He wants you to become a monk and hide. No, 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 no. And I'll give you a simple little word that we all learned when we were kids. For those of you who have ever walked into a church, you see that little song about letting your light shine. Hide it under a bushel? No, I'm gonna let it shine. Remember that song? I remember it. Which means when the light shines, darkness flees. When people see my pistol on my side when I pull into a gas station, they think twice before they want to try to do anything. Now that's not letting my light shine. That's letting my pistol shine. But you know what? Every store around here and every station around here that knows me knows that when I walk in, they have peace for the time that I'm there, because they know that they are having somebody in there to watch them and protect them during that time. That's why I'm a man of war. But you know what? I walk in there not looking for trouble. I walk in there to take care of my business and have fun. And I'll tell you something. I make sure I have fun every day. I laugh more than most people laugh in a week. Seriously. I'm going to have a ball. And that's the way we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be people of joy, unspeakable, and full of glory. Even in the darkest days or the darkest hours, you should still have joy. And don't let the devil take your joy. Don't be afraid of what this world can do. Have fun. Okay? Get back to having fun. Go fly a kite or something. Get yourself back to feeling good. And don't be so paranoid. Paranoia. Brain destroyer. Let those who want to cubbyhole themselves go right ahead. As for me, I'm going to stand bold and proud. Take care of what God wants me to take care of. And I can do it smiling. And I can do it without any regret. And you know what? I can rejoice. Because anything I do first gets approved by God. Always remember that. You know, you don't do this alone. See, the smart people make sure that they heed the word of God. And when God unctions them, then they do. And that causes you to walk away with no blood on your hands and no conviction to your conscience. And you can have a ball the next day. Because you see, when enemy is removed, that's a joyful time. That means they can't hurt nobody anymore. All right, that's a good time. So don't let paranoia destroy your brain. Have fun. Wives, love your husbands. Husbands, love your wives, as Christ loved the church. Okay? Hey, just because the world's coming to whatever it's coming to doesn't mean we can't have a ball. I'm going to have a ball. I'm not going to let stress get to me. No. You see, this is what happens when you let stress get to you. Let me show you again. All right. That's where they went in with the catheter. to replace the stent in my heart, and that's the bruise that they caused. You know why? Stress. No more stress. And I believe when I go out, I'm going to go out laughing. Because when I do go out of this world, I win. Might as well laugh over that. The enemy thinks he's going to take me out. Let him go ahead. I ain't going nowhere till God says I'm going. See, that's the secret. And when I am taken out, I got the last laugh. Have fun, people. Don't let all this paranoia. You'll do just fine. When God's in your corner, you'll do just fine. Okay? You prepare. You do what you're supposed to do. You survive. That's all biblical. God warned people ahead of time. What did God tell Jacob? 7 years of lean time, or 7 years of fat time, then 7 years of lean time. What was he telling him that for? He needs to store up for the 7 lean years. And if it wasn't for him listening, the other people would have suffered. So what responsibility has God placed on your head? You know what's coming, which means you're the one who's responsible. And when these people come to you wanting to know what to do, number one, you make sure they don't lose their joy. All right? Because God's there. He is. He's there. He's there with you, and you know it. Now, I know people, probably some people think I'm crazy. That's all right. Call me a nutball. I don't care. I know what God's carried me through. I know I should have been dead 4 times over. And I know that God keeps fixing me for whatever purpose He has me for the end days. But when I go out, I will go out in glory. All right. Whatever He has me to do, to take charge of, or to rule, or to stand in the gap for, oh boy, you better believe I'm going to do it. You see, I'm not going to question God, because God, nobody questions God. Remember Job? And I'll leave you with this, and I'll call it a close, because it's already been 20 minutes. All right. God looked at Job and said, where were you when the foundations of the world were formed? Where were you? You see, He was straightening God. He was straightening Job out, because Job was pulling an attitude. And He said, where were you when all this was being figured out? And Job realized he didn't know as much as he thought he did. But you see, he never cursed God. And because of that, God restored to him a ton. And because of your faithfulness in these days, don't you think God's going to take care of you? I guarantee it. Mark that on your calendar. The doc says that he guarantees God will take care of me, as long as you're doing the right thing and you're following the word and the unction of the Lord. There is nothing in this world that can come against you. If God be for you, who can be against you? Ain't nobody. Ain't nobody. You see, when you don't serve God, your life is open for any destruction the enemy has to give. But when you're a child of God, he places a hedge about you. See, that's what he did to Job. And that means that if God is for you, you could have 1,000 people in your front yard with weapons pointed right at you. But if you remember in the Old Testament, and I believe it was Elijah, it was either Elijah or Elisha, who prayed and said, Lord, open the servant's eyes that he may see. And there were all kinds of God's angels around. Just 2 men against 1,000 or more in the military, in the army. But yet God had more to defend them because they were faithful. All right, that's enough preaching. I don't know. Was it Wednesday night? Don't allow paranoia to seep in. You came in this world naked. You're going out of this world naked. You're not taking anything with you. But there's one thing you can take, and that's the joy unspeakable and full of glory. Doc's got your 6. Take it easy.